Mike, let's hold up here for a minute. I want to see what's going on up ahead here.
All right.
Howdy! Y'all need some help?
Well, that'd be mighty neighborly of you. Ooh, looks like a bad cloud is on its way. Know anything about fixing wagon wheels?
Yeah, I fixed my fair share. They're not particularly hard, just pain in the ass.
Boy, howdy, you ain't lying about that.
Mike, do me a favor, keep an eye on the horses for a minute while I help these folks out.
Sure thing. Step aside, son. Let me take a look at her. All right, what we got? Yep.
Easy there, partner. We just want any y'all are carrying. No need for anyone to get killed.
Let him go. No, happy to. Soon as you give us all your money. Stick a breath.
Shut up, Leon. I'm not about to let them kill you.
That won't happen as long as you do as we say.
No bullshit. You ain't wearing mask. No way you'd let us go if we can finger you to the sheriff.
Not gonna ask again. You do what we ask, and you walk.
Michael.
Yeah, Leon?
Oh, get ready.
Ready for...
Grab ground, boy.
Leon, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. You hit?
No, she is.
Well, looks like it went clean through. Micah, hand me my satchel and my canteen there. I got some fresh linen strips in there.
What for?
Gonna tend to this wound. It'll fester if we don't.
Not what I mean. Damn it, Leon, she tried to kill us.
I'm aware.
So why the hell are you helping her?
Because it's the right thing to do. Now do as I ask.
Fine, there. I still don't get why you're doing this. We should just shoot him and move on. The bank will be closed before we finish.
The bank will be there tomorrow. Mr. Johnson will understand the delay.
You should listen to your partner. Healing me up is a bad idea. I may not have killed you before, but I for sure will now. First chance I get.
I'll take my chances, little lady. Bad idea.
Oh, shut your damn mouth before I put a hole in you too.
Oh, calm down, Micah. We'll just tie him up and turn him into the sheriff.
Leon, I got a bad feeling about these two. Come on. Let's just kill them and move on. It's not like they don't deserve it.
Oh, you're wasting your breath. Your partner's just a yellow belly. He ain't gonna kill us. And you're too much of a lapdog to do it yourself.
Oh, shut your damn mouth. Just try me and see.
Go ahead. Do it!
Hey!
Ah!
Put your gun away.
But Leon.
Put it away! Let's get these two tied up. They got a meeting with the sheriff to make.
Howdy. Howdy. I'm gonna need to take that gun. What can I get you?
Whiskey, beer, and a room if you got any.
No rooms. But there's a hotel right across the street. $1 a night.
They, offer a tub too?
Yep. 25 cents a soak.
Ah, fantastic. I've been on the trail for weeks. I could use a good soak. Any, sporting women?
And through that door yonder, there's a staircase. Madam Sadie will set you up.
Much obliged.
You new to town? I don't believe I've seen you before.
Oh, I was out here a long time ago. Been in Mexico for the last dozen years or so. I have some business to take care of, and then I'll be headed out of town.
Where to?
Not sure yet. That depends on how my business goes.
What business is that, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm here to meet my son for the first time.
Congratulations! When was he born?
Ooh. Damn near 20 years ago. His ma and I had a thing a while back, and we parted ways before I found out she was pregnant. A few weeks ago, I got a letter from her. She was dying, and he had fallen in with a rough bunch. So I headed out as soon as I could. Made it into town today. She had already passed, unfortunately. But I am determined to meet him anyway and see if I can help him come to his senses.
Not an easy task, I reckon. Best of luck to you, friend.
Much obliged. Thanks for the drink. Now, I believe I'll head upstairs now. It's been a while since I felt a woman's touch.
Enjoy.
I intend to.
No, you don't just get to walk away from this. Who the hell do you think you are to stop me from defending myself?
Will you please talk about this later? I'd like to just sit here and enjoy my drink.
Oh, to hell with your drink. I want some answers. Why did you stop me?
Because it was the right thing to do.
Says who? Since when did you become the moral compass of the world?
I'm not, and I never claimed to be, but there's some things that are right and some things that are wrong, and killing a defenseless person is just wrong.
But they tried to rob us.
I'm aware.
You boys have a dust-up?
You could say that. On our way into town, 2 bandits was set on killing us.
We don't know that.
Oh, bullshit. You heard them jawing away.
That was just bluster. They was just embarrassed how the tables got turned and was trying to save face. I doubt they'd have killed us.
Zeke, can I ask you something? Perhaps you can provide a fresh perspective on things.
I'll do my best.
If you were set upon by 2 bandits, and they weren't wearing masks, do you think that they would mean to kill you afterward?
That seems a pretty logical assumption.
Exactly. So please, Leon, explain to me why Zeke is wrong.
When you've lived as long as I have, you
I'm so sick of that excuse. I get it, Leon. You've lived a rough life. But you ain't exactly some old codger. You sure as hell ain't as old as Mr. Johnson or old Henry.
Life. Michael, life is more than about just age. There's some things a man can do in a day that'll age him 10 years worth of normal living. And I know this because I used
What? You've done things that I wouldn't believe? I doubt that.
You know what? Just forget it.
Typical.
What's typical?
You! This situation. Every time we start to talk about stuff like this, you shut down. You want me to trust you, but you don't ever seem to trust me enough to tell me what the hell's really going on.
What do you mean stuff like this?
Oh, don't play dense. You know what I mean. Killing and death.
I don't recall ever shutting down.
Well, you do. You did it last summer when we had to hang those horse thieves.
What are you going on about?
Oh, we was sitting around the campfire afterward. The boys found out that it was my first hanging, and so they all got to talking about their first hangings. And when it got around to you, you told us that you couldn't remember. When we pushed you on it, you got all surly and walked away.
Do you ever think there might be a good reason why?
Sure. But like I said, you want me to trust you, but don't want to afford me the same courtesy. And quite frankly, I'm getting rather tired of it.
You boys want to quiet down. My girls are having a hard time concentrating on their customers' pricks with all this racket.
My apologies, ma'am. Micah and I were just finishing our talk.
Oh, the hell we were! I'm not letting you brush me off this time.
Fine. Can I at least finish my drink first?
No! You're gonna...
I tell you what. Why don't you just let Leon rest a spell, okay? And in the meantime, Annabelle is free. Why don't you head on upstairs and pay her a visit? You know how a good poke will cleave your head?
But,
Nuh-uh. It's on the house.
all right. That sounds like a nice idea. Thanks, Sadie.
So what's a beautiful woman like you doing in a place like this?
Looking to share a drink with a man worth my time?
Found one yet?
Not yet. But it's nothing that a drink or two won't fix.
Well, how's about I pour you a drink while you're looking? Come here often?
Only when you stop by.
Now, a nice girl like you shouldn't be talking like that.
Well, I'd be better behaved if you'd make an honest woman out of me.
If I thought you'd say yes, I'd do it tomorrow.
Well, Micah sure is spirited, ain't he?
Yeah, well, what else is new? But maybe he's got a point.
What the hell was all that about?
We had dust up coming into town, and Mike ain't sure that we shouldn't have killed him.
Well, why didn't you?
No immediate threat. I just thought it'd be best to turn him into the sheriff.
Oh. Now, did you tell him that, or did you just shut your lips like a virgin on her first date?
Well, I didn't think I needed to explain myself.
Yeah, so Micah's a mind reader now.
Darn it, Sadie, you know how hard it is for me to relate to that boy.
No, but you're not going to be able to tell him anything if you wait till you're pushing up daisies.
Well, I know that, but Sadie, you don't have any idea how hard it is to come to terms with him.
You snap at me when I'm trying to help you. Now, if you don't want my advice, I will head upstairs and find me an ice man.
No. I'm sorry, okay? It just makes me crazy sometimes.
Well, all right. Let's just sit here like the dignified folk that we are and talk. All right, so, Mike, I don't think you should have brung him in.
Yeah, but I don't think that's all of it.
Something else bothering you?
Yeah, he's been asking a lot of questions about my past.
Oh, well, good luck to him on that.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I just know how you like to play your cards close to your chest, that's all.
Well, why shouldn't I? My past ain't nobody's business.
No, it ain't. Ain't nothing wrong with a man keeping his private matters to himself. I kind of like being the only one who knows the real you. But just out of curiosity, why did you tell me all of those things about your past if it weren't nobody's business?
Well, it was the least I could do after you saved my life.
I wouldn't call waking you up in that pigsty saving your life.
That sow had already eaten through my boot and started working at my belt and would have eaten my if you hadn't come along. I don't think I've been that drunk or that embarrassed since. I'm still sorry about your dress.
Oh, there's worse things than mud been on that dress. But seriously, why did you tell me about all those things you done if you don't want folks knowing about it?
Oh, it just seemed like the right thing to do at the time, I guess.
But why me, though? I mean, it don't seem that I'm too different than most folk in your life.
Well, I don't know if I go that far. I mean, you've always been easy enough to talk to, and I've never had any doubts that you could keep my secrets. I mean, hell, you make a living keeping secrets.
Pretty damn good living at that. So, I never gave you a reason to doubt that you could trust me. Does Micah?
No, not really.
All right then, what's the problem?
Just, it don't seem that simple. Did I ever tell you why I took Micah in?
Well, I know you was good friends with his pa. I figured you done it out of respect to him.
Well, good friends doesn't cover what Charles meant to me. I I was sitting in this saloon. I met him just after Blackwood, and I was sitting here seeing how much whiskey I could pour down my gullet.
I remember. Everybody in here was avoiding you. I don't know if it was the drink or the stench, but they were
Either reason would have been good enough. But after I had had my fill, I staggered out of the bar, got on my horse and rode off, and must have blacked out for a bit, because the next thing I knew, I was standing at the edge of McFarland Gulch, just staring out, thinking how much easier it'd be if I just jumped.
You never told me that. What happened?
Charles happened. He must have seen me leave the saloon and followed me out. I mean, why he took the chance, I'll never know. But all of a sudden, I hear a man calling out to me. I look back, not much older than myself, telling me, beckoning me to step away from the ledge, saying, you don't have to jump. Everything will be okay. He saved my life that night.
So when you went to work at the ranch?
Well, yeah, I mean, Charles told me to follow him, so I did. And we got to the ranch, and he talked with Mr. Johnson about taking me on. And on the way there, I told my pa was a blacksmith, so they started me off on the forge with old Henry, hammering away. Later that day, Charles introduced me to his wife, Mary, and their little boy. And a few weeks later, Charles and Mary were dead. Little Michael was all alone.
So, you taking him in was a way of paying him back.
I mean, he was all alone. I mean, Charles was an only child, and his folks had died a few years back. Mary's family disowned her. I mean, all he had was those of us at the ranch. I just wanted him to remember what a good man his pa was, and that's why I've only ever let him call me Leon. I just never wanted him thinking I was trying to replace Charles.
But what the hell does this have to do with you telling him more about your past?
Micah has got a lot of rage built up inside himself about his parents' death. I mean, it happened when he was 5, but he still has fond memories of them. He's 14 years later now. He's 19, and he's feeling that itch of revenge.
Yes, but
And he's really wanting to scratch at it.
I know, but maybe telling your story will help him to come to terms with what he's feeling.
Or just give him the justification to take his revenge out on the first person he finds.
What the hell did I tell you about snapping at me? Now stop being so darn pig-headed, Leon, and listen. Now Micah, he is not a little boy anymore. He has all these feelings, and it is your job to help him come to terms with what he's feeling.
I know that, Sadie, but how can I tell him to let go of his anger when I wasn't able to let go of mine?
By treating him like a son.
Well, he ain't my son.
Not by blood, but he is your son whether you like it or not. Now, I know that you don't want him to forget about Charles, but Leon, the fact of the matter is, you raised him. You took care of him. He ain't that little boy anymore. And it is your job to teach him how to be a man. And part of that is learning how to live with the pain of your past.
I know. I'm just afraid of what might happen.
The Leon I know doesn't run from what scares him. He faces it head on.
Thanks, Sue. You're a good friend.
Yeah, much better than you deserve. All right, you coming up? I'll pour you a bath.
No, I think I'll wait here. Apparently, Micah and I have some things to talk about.
All right. Don't keep me waiting too long. I haven't decided how much of my time you're worth yet. And I might just run off with the next man who wiggles his bean at me.
Oh, well, did you finish your drink?
I did. Look, I'm sorry what happened before. Sorry what happened before, but I just ain't good about talking about those things. You know that.
I know. And I don't mean to pry, Leon, but I just don't know how much longer things can stay this way.
Did I ever tell you about my wife?
Wow, you was married?
Yeah. Long time ago. Lifetime it seems.
What was her name? Or is she?
Her name was Helena. I was 18 and she was 16 and we lived and grew up in the same town. Her pa was a baker, mine was a blacksmith, and I'll never forget the first time I saw her. She was wearing this beautiful white linen dress and was carrying a basket of bread to take to the local widow. It was as if Aphrodite herself had decided to take a walk amongst the mortals that day.
Afro who?
Ancient Greek goddess of love. My mama used to love to tell me stories about her.
My mom used to tell me stories too. Stories mostly. So, what happened to her?
Died during childbirth. Both her and the baby. We headed into town to buy some things when we were set upon by 3 men.
Outlaws?
They had told us to hand over any money we had, so of course we did, and it was barely enough to buy a week's worth of food. I don't know why he done it. Maybe he was insulted by how paltry his summit was, or maybe he just wanted to hurt somebody, but their leader proceeded to knock me down and beat me. I tried to fight back, but he'd gotten the drop on me. Helena rushed over to try to stop him. They shoved her to the ground, and I blacked out soon after that.
So how'd you survive?
Farmer and his 5 sons happened to come upon us and chase them bandits off. And they put me and Helena in the back of their cart and took us to the doctor's house. And as the doctor was tending to me, Helena's water broke. The midwife came out and said Helena started bleeding, and it wouldn't stop. She bled out as they tried to save the baby. And I'm told he didn't live too much after that.
Shit, Leon. That's... well, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Leon, it's a sad story and all, but I still don't see what it has to do with anything. I mean, it's not like you were in any trouble if that happened again. I've seen you fight. You would have taken them bandits apart.
You're right.
Besides, if I was you, that story would only make me want it more.
That's exactly what I thought at the time. I mean, these men had violated me in such a way that was indescribable. I mean, you couldn't imagine the pain. It wouldn't stop. It just kept appearing in my head. Just festered inside me. I mean, they had taken something so perfect from me. I mean, her beauty, her warmth in my life, the son I never even got to hold in my damn arms. And I was gonna make them all pay. I mean, I knew deep down inside it wouldn't bring Helena or my boy back, but I thought, damn it, maybe it would make the pain so unbearable. Maybe it would make the pain so it wasn't so gouging. So as soon as I was able to, I went to my uncle's house.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a soldier, and he taught me how to hunt, so maybe he could teach me how to fight.
And that's how you learned all that stuff.
No, he didn't want to do it at first. He told me, go back, mourn Helena, move on with your life. But he saw that my mind wasn't going to be changed, so I guess he figured it was better for him to teach me where he could temper some of my rage than for someone to find me and try to exploit it.
So, did you go after him?
I wanted to, but I didn't know where to find him. But my uncle told me there was a man who worked for the local sheriff bringing in bounties. So I rode with him for about a month, and then I struck out on my own. I figured it was only a matter of time before I found him.
You was a bounty hunter? Ooh, boy, I bet you got all kinds of stories. You know, when I was a young spud, I dreamed of becoming a bounty hunter. You know, out in the wilderness, hunting down outlaws and bringing them to justice.
Not much justice, boy. Only killing.
Same thing. Damned outlaws probably deserved it.
I don't know, maybe they did. All I know is out of the 60 bounties that I brought in over the next 5 or so years, I only brought in 2 alive. You know, it's a funny thing.
What is?
Killing. I mean, the first time you do it brings so much joy to you. Brings back everything you lost. It makes you feel great. And as you keep doing it, it just keeps getting easier and easier until you almost tell yourself that that person from before, hell, you never really existed at all. But there's not a day that goes by that you don't have blood-stained hands, or a night you can sleep that you don't see the faces of the dead haunting you at night.
So, did you ever find him?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Come on, Leon. You really don't expect me to buy that, do you?
Look, I really don't care right now. I don't want to get into it, okay?
You know what, fine. You don't want to tell me what the hell is really going on, then fine. But if you ever step in front of my gun again, then so help me, I will shoot you.
Lord, son. A scout like that'll sour cow's milk without the teeth. What's got you so riled up?
None of your damn business.
Oh, whoa there, partner. I didn't mean to offend. Forget I asked.
Sorry. I shouldn't have snapped. I'm angry at Leon right now.
Leon?
The fella over... well, the fella I'm riding with anyway. Must have headed upstairs to see Satan.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing your brother, since most folk don't call their pa by their first name.
No, we ain't brothers. He raised me, but He ain't exactly my paw, neither.
Seems to me knowing whether or not a man is your kin should be pretty easy.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Why did he raise you? What happened to your folks?
Look, mister, I ain't so sure I should be talking to you about this.
Sure, I get it. I don't mean to pry. It just sounded like an interesting story, that's all.
Have we met before?
Doubtful. I ain't been out this way for quite some time.
Well, what brings you back?
Family business. Woman I knew long ago and I had a son together. I'm here to meet him for the first time.
No kidding. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Although I do wish the circumstances were a bit better. Before she passed away, his ma told me that he had fallen in with a bad bunch. Been robbing folk all across the territory. In fact, I was just outside, and I heard some folks talking that someone was brought into the sheriff for attempted robbery. It could be him. I'm on my way to the jail to find out.
Well, if it is, you'll have to thank Leon for the opportunity.
Really? And why is that?
Because, well, if I had gotten my way, your boy would be dead by now. You know, it was him and his partner. They tried to hold me and Leon up.
Oh. I am sorry to hear that. But now I'd really like to hear the story.
Well, I don't suppose it would hurt to tell you my story. My mom and pa used to work over at the Stetson River Ranch.
That's Augustus Johnson's outfit, right?
Yeah. Well, when I was about 5, my folks were killed by a man named Kruger. You know, he was another farmhand who was caught stealing from Mr. Johnson, and he killed him when they tried to stop him.
I am sorry to hear that, son.
Thanks. Anyway, ever since then, Leon's took me in and, well, he's basically raised me as his own. He's never pretended to be my pa, but he's the closest thing I got to him.
So why are you angry at him?
Well, that's kind of where your boy might come in.
Really? You have my undivided attention.
We was running some cattle for Mr. Johnson up to Fort McMurtry. After we sold them, we were headed on into town to deposit the money into the bank. And that's when we were headed upon by these two folks. Long story short, they tried to rob us. I wanted to kill them, but it was Leon who insisted that we bring them on into the sheriff. Took so long the bank was closed before we finished.
Really? That's quite the tale.
Yeah, can you believe it? Hope those bastards rot in that jail cell.
Why do you think he wanted to turn him in?
I don't know. He's a good man. A hard man, but he's good. Strange, though. He has no compunction about killing. I've seen Leon kill. I've never seen him hesitate to do it until today.
Well, could be he finally lost his nerve.
Who, Leon? No way. Anyone else, maybe that could be true, but Leon is about the most reliable man I've ever known.
Stranger things have happened. Sometimes man can't stomach killing no more.
Yeah, I suppose, but, you know, my gut is telling me otherwise. I'm sure he has his reasons. Just wish he would tell me.
And you say he raised you since you was 5?
Yeah, 14 years.
Don't seem right. See, when a man takes on that kind of responsibility, he has a duty to be as honest as possible. Seems to me he owes you some answers. You seem like a good kid. I tell you what, you as my son, I'd treat you better. Secrets make a man hard to trust.
You can say that again.
Well, I hope you get your answers, but if it were me, I sure wouldn't take it no more.
You leaving?
Yep, I gotta head to the sheriff, and then I figured I'd take advantage of the luxuries a town has to offer. Take care, son. Everything will work out just fine. See you around.
Thanks. See you around.
Hey there, Doodlebug.
Hey, Sadie.
You doing okay?
I don't know. Why don't he talk to me? Is it something I did?
No, honey. You know, Leon may be a pig-headed fool, but he's got a lot of demons he's fighting with right now. Give him time.
I don't know that I can do that, Sadie. I got this feeling deep down in my gut.
What kind of feeling?
Like something's trying to burst out, and I'm afraid of what may happen if it does.
Well, it sounds like you done ate too much to me.
I'm serious, Sadie. Look, I used to think he didn't want to talk about nothing because he didn't understand what I was feeling. But now I found out about his wife and son, and I don't know what to think.
Hey, have you heard from Allie recently?
What?
Now, don't tell me you done forgot about Allie. I mean, you two used to be so sweet on each other.
Of course. I ain't forget about her. And don't you change the subject.
I ain't changing nothing. Now answer the question.
I got a letter from her a few months ago. What are you getting at?
I was just thinking about the day you found out that her family was moving to San Francisco. You remember that?
I remember I wasn't exactly happy, but beyond that, I can't say I do.
Well, you were more than just a little unhappy. I seem to recall finding you out back sitting on the fence in a deep sulk. Took you a good 15 minutes to talk to me.
All right, so I was sad. What's that got to do with anything?
You weren't just sad, you was devastated. You cried on my shoulder a good half hour talking about how you weren't gonna love nobody else and it weren't fair that she was moving away. But the point is, you weren't in a real hurry to talk to me about it. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, because it hurts so bad, I suppose.
Exactly. Now then, you take that hurt and you multiply it by 1,000, and you'll have only a small idea of what Leon's been carrying around all these years. You can talk to Allie whenever you want to. Who knows, maybe one day you'll run up to San Francisco and get her. Maybe she'll come here. But Leon don't have that luxury. See, he'll never be able to tell Helena all the things he wished he could. And for someone like him, it takes a long time to sort out. It can drive a man to dark places.
I never thought of it that way.
I know, Doodlebug. Children always think their parents don't understand. But what you gotta know is, they understand all too well. That's what scares them so much. Look, just give him time. He'll come around, and don't stop trying. Just don't judge him too harshly.
Thanks, Sadie. I think I get it now.
You are most welcome. Look, it's all gonna be okay. I promise.
Hey, boy. Saw a cafe next door. You want to get a bite? It's all their specials, pot roast and potatoes and...
Not hungry.
So you still hung up on what happened before?
Yes, Leon. Look, I don't mean no disrespect.
But
Well, it just ain't right. Look, today, I knew next to nothing before you until now. And now I find out about your wife and son. I get why you don't tell folk about yourself, and I respect that. But I ain't just folk.
it's true.
There was a fella in here just a minute ago. You know, we got to talking, and he made me realize that I really do see you as my pa. I know you never wanted that, but I just can't help it.
You know, Sadie made me realize that as much as I've been trying to keep my distance, I'm starting to see you as my son too. It ain't because I ain't never been proud of you or anything like that. It's just, I never wanted you to think that I was trying to replace your pa.
And I respect that. But he ain't been my pa for some time now. Look, Leon, I'm not that scared little boy you took in all those years ago. I'm a man now, ain't I?
Close enough to one, yeah.
And sure, I've never had a wife or lost a baby or any of that stuff. But I have been through some things. And when some low-life assholes tried to take advantage of my father's kindness and slit his throat right in front of me, well, damn it, I deserve the satisfaction of ending their miserable lives.
It ain't what you deserve. It's what killing will do to you. It doesn't give you the satisfaction that you think it does.
I'm not so sure about that. You won't even tell me whether you got your revenge or not. We're more than just partners, Leon. We're basically kin. And kinfolk share things with one another, don't they?
I mean, that's true. But even family has its secrets. It ain't that I don't want to tell you, Micah. It's that I'm afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Do you know what redemption means?
You mean someone atoning for something bad they've done?
You call it that? Do you believe that it's possible for a man who has done horrible things to be able to make up for them later on in life?
I suppose it would have to depend on what was done and why.
Fair enough. I'm not a good man, Micah.
What are you talking about? You're the best man I know.
That don't make me a good one. I have done things that good men don't do. I have hurt people in ways that should have never been hurt, regardless of what they had done, and I have to live with this every day.
I take it this has something to do with Helena's outlaws.
Amongst other things, yeah.
So, you did find them.
Micah, please, I really wish you would just let this go.
Leon, I can't. I'm asking you to trust me.
It took me about 5 years. I finally tracked them down. They had kidnapped the mayor's daughter, and he had hired me to get her back. Took me about a week to find her. A week that girl should have never had to go through.
Bad?
Bad don't even describe it. I won't get into the details, but they had brutalized her so badly, she never recovered from it. Last I heard, she was in some asylum back east.
So, did you kill him?
No,
What? Now why the hell wouldn't you...
make no mistake, Micah. They died by my hand, but I didn't kill them.
You're talking nonsense.
Have you ever heard of the word annihilation?
Annihilation.
Yeah. So, it means to completely destroy something. You see, when I walked in on their king, 2 of them were passed out by the fire. The third, their leader, was violating her. And I looked at her, and she looked right back at me, and I could see in her eyes she was gone, completely resigned to the fact that this is who she was now. And when I saw that, something inside me broke, brought me right back to the day that Helen had died. So I ripped him off of her, and I shot him in the gut. The other 2 tried to rush me. I shot them too. It was effectively over in just a few seconds, but I wasn't done with them. So I found some rope, and I tied them up, and no, Micah, I didn't just kill him. annihilated them.
Leon, what did you do?
I castrated them to start. Mine, filled with screams. It was like something out of hell. I turned to the leader, a man who had taken everything from me, and I started ripping him apart one limb at a time. He begged for me to stop. Eventually, he begged for me to just kill him. It was somewhere between cutting off his left hand and cutting off his right, and he finally passed out. And after I was finished with him, I turned to the others, and they had bled out. And I just stood over him. This man that I had hunted for so damn long, and I felt nothing.
Nothing?
No relief, no remorse, nothing.
Is that why you did it? Why you stopped me from shooting them earlier? Are you afraid that I'll go down that same path?
Michael, I see a lot of me in you. Okay, I see my rage and anger just lying up underneath the surface. All right? I'm not so naive to think that you won't have to kill one day. But when you do, it needs to be justified. Not for something as stupid as revenge.
That's easy for you to say. You already got your revenge.
Yeah, and yesterday's gone, and I can't get it back. All I can do is try to atone for it. You still have a choice.
You know, it ain't your place to decide if it's my choice or not. It ain't your place to decide what is right and wrong for me, Leon.
I understand.
Look, I respect the hell out of you, but I'm not a child any longer. I can make my own choices. Can't you just trust that I'll make the right one?
It's not that simple, Micah.
Why?
Because Kruger isn't the only one responsible for your parents' death.
What do you mean?
He pulled the trigger that night, but only because I failed to pull mine. I could have stopped him. I had him dead to rights, but it was so soon after Blackwood I didn't know if I could trust myself to kill again, and then he shot them both, and I managed to get a shot off and shoot him in the leg, but he ran off and stole my horse and rode off.
You didn't shoot. You didn't shoot. How could you not shoot?
Micah, I am so sorry.
Oh, fuck you, Leon. All this time you told me Kruger killed my folks, and now I found out you could have stopped him? Why didn't you ever tell me?
I tried to, the timing just never seemed right. Right?
Timing? Are you serious? 14 years, Leon. 14 fucking years! And you tell me now, on the day that you stopped me from saving your life.
Come on, let's just sit down.
Don't touch me! I can't do this right now. Oh, some two bands we brought in.
Oh, how did they escape?
I don't know and I don't care. My gun.
What are you doing, Mike?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm going after him.
No, let the sheriff bring him in.
What makes you think he's even alive?
This isn't our fight, Micah. Just
Let me go, Leon.
Micah, please.
Let me go! If you don't want to come, fine. But I'm going. And there ain't nothing that you can do to stop me.
Howdy, Leon.
Kruger. What the hell are you doing here, Kruger?
You know why.
Bandits was yours.
Yep.
You knew we were going to be driving this cattle to the fort today, didn't you?
Right again. I always knew you was a smart one.
How did you find out?
Oh, that ain't important. What is important is I know that you've got about $500 on you that you didn't get a chance to put in the bank. I wanted my underlings to take it off you on the road, but I kind of like that we get to catch up like this.
How'd you spring from jail?
Me and the sheriff have an understanding.
Of course you do. You had better pray. Micah comes back in one piece.
Oh, what? You're gonna kill me? What happens to Micah depends entirely on you.
How so?
Oh, hot damn, Leon. I haven't seen you in a dog's age.
Where is he?
Patience, Leon. I promise he's all right. I gave him strict orders to ambush him at Forsyth Pass and take him to the camp unharmed. As long as you do as I say, he'll be back safe and sound before you know it.
What do you want?
Just looking to reminisce, that's all. How long's it been? 13, 14 years since you run me off the ranch.
That's an interesting way of putting it. You didn't exactly give me much of a choice.
True, but I didn't have much of a choice myself.
That's bullshit.
How you figure?
You could have walked out any time. Instead, you decided to go ahead and kill Charles and Micah, or Charles and Mary, and try to kidnap Micah.
You still haven't figured it out. Maybe you ain't as smart as I thought.
What are you going on about?
All in due time. How is young Micah? What is he? 18, 19 years old? I have missed that boy.
He's fine and better for not knowing the truth.
And what truth is that exactly? Just what does he know about that night?
He knows that a bastard killed his family and betrayed him in the ranch. That's all he needs to know.
Interesting. Not really a lie, but not exactly the truth either. Clever.
So glad you approve.
Oh, but I don't. See, I'm of the mind that Micah deserves to know the whole truth.
And what makes you think that you haven't seen or spoke to that boy in 14 years?
Oh, but that's the best part. I spoke to him not 1 hour ago at this very table.
What?
You weren't here, of course. I imagine you were upstairs with your whore. I believe Micah called her Sadie.
What are you going on about?
See, we talked about you mostly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he rarely thinks highly of you. I must admit it does make me a bit more jealous. But the interesting thing is what he thinks of the man who killed his parents. See, he seems to think that I was some hired hand at the ranch. Interesting that you made me sound a little more respectable than I was at the time.
Well, it was easier than telling him that you chased his mother across the prairie out of some bullshit notion that she belonged to you.
She did belong to me. She cuckolded me like some dumb whore. That was one affront I could not abide.
You really are a piece of trash, aren't you? You hold a woman hostage for 3 years, you abuse her, you rape her, and you have the gall to be upset that she escapes you to find a life with a good and decent man?
She was my wife!
Yes, and that's what you did makes it okay. Too bad she didn't kill you on her way out.
Oh, she did something far more worse than kill me. She took something that was more dear than my life. That bitch stole my son. There was no way I was gonna let that stand.
You act as though she did it just to spite you.
What other reason could she have had?
I don't know, maybe she thought by taking Micah, he wouldn't be raised by a monster like you.
Oh, that's rich.
How so?
I know what you are, Leon. Knowed it from the first time I met you. See, a killer knows a killer. The stench of death follows you like it does me. When you drew down on me that night, I thought I was dead. The fact that you hesitated, that surprised me. Oh, does Micah know that part?
He does. And even what happened next. How is the leg, by the way?
Oh, just fine. Aches a bit when it rains, but it's as if nothing has ever happened.
Good to hear.
Isn't it? Funnily enough, the fact that you didn't kill me told me everything I needed to know about you.
Please, enlighten me.
What's your rush? I just want to enjoy your company. It's not every day I get to enjoy educated conversation.
Well, I fear that you will be disappointed then because I didn't get too far in school.
All kinds of ways a man can get an education. And you, my friend, are a scholar in debt. Tell me, how old was you when you first killed?
Look, Kruger, if you want the money, just say so. I will gladly give it up in exchange for Micah. But other than that, I really don't want to endure any more of your horse shit tonight.
Leon, is that all you can think of me? Leon, I am hurt. Here I am trying to get to know you better, and all you can think of is money? Oh well, I guess I'll be on my way. Believe I'll head upstairs now for a poke. I believe I'll give Sadie a try.
Leave her alone!
Ah, there he is. There's the killer inside. Tell you what, why don't we just sit down and talk? You may find that we have plenty in common.
I am nothing like you.
Well then, sit down and find out. Now, I believe there was a question on the table. This is going to be a long night if you don't talk to me. How old was you when you first killed?
18.
Ah, a late bloomer. I was 15 myself.
Good for you.
See, my father was a pathetic man who had a job beneath his dignity. But instead of doing something about it, he liked to get drunk, come home, and see how close he could get to beating his wife to death. So, one night, when I was about 8, he did just that.
If you're expecting some kind of sympathy out of me, Kruger, you can go
Don't
ahead.
bother. If my bitch mother couldn't stand up for herself, she got what she deserved. As for my father, he went on as much as he did before. A miserable man working in a coal mine who never aspired to anything greater, who cheated at cards but still managed to lose. A man I had no respect for. So, one morning, while he was sleeping off a particularly nasty hangover, I got it in my head that I'd be better off without him. So I slit his throat as he slept. I still remember the look in his eyes as he felt the knife open up his neck. A look of shock, pain, and betrayal. Oh, a look that was sweeter than any candy. I felt alive, invigorated, and in control for the first time in my life. And I promised then and there that I wouldn't be in a position contrary to that again. But enough about me. I want to learn more about you.
Well, not really much to tell. My favorite color is red. I enjoy Scotch whiskey. And I can cook a hell of a ribeye.
Uh-huh. As fascinating as all that is, that's not really what I quite had in mind. So you killed your first man at 18. How'd it feel?
I beg your pardon?
How'd it feel? Killing my father was the most amazing moment in my life up until that point. I want to know how it felt.
No, I don't know that I recall.
Leon, this only works if we're honest with one another. You wouldn't want me to go visit Sadie now, would you?
What about me, stranger?
Oh, nothing. I was just telling Leon here that I was thinking about paying you a visit.
And what makes you think I'd even entertain that notion?
You may have a fancy title and run this place, but you ain't nothing but a whore. Who are you to not entertain the notion?
Is that so? You see, one of the many benefits about being a madam is that I no longer have to entertain assholes like you.
Shut up, barkeep! Shut up, or else I'll add another hole to your head.
Leave her alone.
Maybe I wouldn't give you the choice.
Leave her alone, I said.
I don't need you to fight my battles for me. Besides, I can tell just by looking at this cowpoke that he's the type whose little friend struggles to rise to the occasion. Now then, do I put a bullet in your head? Or shoot your pecker off?
Don't.
My apologies, ma'am. I was just funning. You can put your little toy away. Now I believe I'll answer to the call of nature. Talk to you in a bit, Leon.
You shouldn't have done that.
Don't you fuss at me. I had every right to do what I'd done. Who was that anyway?
Oh, nobody, just Kruger.
Kruger. The man who killed Micah's folks? What the hell are you doing conversing with a viper like him?
keeping him from paying you a visit.
I don't need you. I can take care of myself, Leon. I don't need you knighting from me. Or did you miss the fact that I pulled the derringer on that son of a...
Oh, no. I saw that. So did he. So next time, he'll be ready for it.
Damn. Well, what'd you stop me for?
Because right now, I need him alive.
What? You know what, Leon? If this is some ill attempt to make up for what you've done...
It's not. Do you remember them bandits that Micah and I brought in?
Yes. And speaking of which, where is Micah?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Them bandits was part of Kruger's gang. He sprang them from jail, and Micah went and hunted them down.
And you need Kruger alive in case Micah gets caught.
When he gets caught, Kruger gave those guys specific instructions to ambush him.
Shit. Well, what's he want? The money?
No. He's here from Micah.
Micah? What does he want with him?
Kruger is Micah's real father.
You want to run that by me again?
It's too long of a story to get into right now, but Micah's mom ran off with Micah when he was young. And Kruger came to the ranch that night and shot both of his parents. Then he tried to kidnap Micah. I shot him. And now he's here.
What are you going to do?
Sit here and talk to him for now.
Oh, well, why not go after Micah?
Because I need to keep the two of them as far away from each other as possible. I swore on Charles and Mary's grave that I would keep Kruger from getting to Micah. If I follow, Kruger follows me.
Well, then why not go to the sheriff?
Because Kruger's got him paid off.
Okay, well, what can I do?
Nothing. Just head on upstairs and wait for me.
Leon, no, I'm not leaving you alone here with him.
Look, Sadie, you're not the only one that can take care of themselves.
Be careful, Leon. I still expect you to make an honest woman out of me.
If I thought that you would say yes, I'd do it tomorrow.
You really should, you know.
What's that?
Make an honest woman out of her.
And rob you of all the income she brings into this place?
I can find me another madam. You'll never find another Sadie.
Thanks, Sadie. You need a favor. Keep an eye on that door. I'm gonna head out back here and just get myself a breath of fresh air.
I don't like this seat.
Don't blame me, it's bad business.
You ever met Kruger before?
No, but I met men like him. Nothing good ever comes from them, especially against men like Leon.
How much do you know about him?
Leon? Enough. Can't tend bar without hearing a few things. You ain't the only one that keeps secrets.
He'd be mortified to hear that.
No doubt about it. One thing is certain, though. A reckoning is coming. Who for? I'm not sure. But it's coming.
How so?
Well, men like Kruger won't stop till they get what they're after. Men like Leon will do whatever is necessary to stop him.
Only one of them can win.
Yep. And before today, I would have put my money on Leon. But with Kruger,
And he ain't so sure of that.
there are a couple of things I don't quite understand, though.
What's that?
Micah, why is Leon so set on him not killing in revenge? Leon's been able to come to terms with it. I'm pretty sure Micah could too.
And the second thing?
Why doesn't he just kill Kruger now?
Zeke, do I have your word that what I'm about to say will stay between us?
Sadie, I would never.
Do I have your word?
Yes, you have my word.
I assume you know about Blackwood.
You mean the mine? Yeah, I know what happened.
Good. See, it ain't just about what happened in the mine that changed him. It's about what made him realize.
How so?
Well, before Blackwood, Leon believed that any time he killed a man, he had no choice. I mean, he chased his bounties. If they gave him a reason to kill him, well, he took it. In a lot of ways, it made his job that much easier.
Okay. So what does that have to do with what happened in the mine? If anyone gave him justification, it was those boys.
True. But Leon didn't just kill them, now did he? No. He made a choice to violate them in a way as horrific as they had violated that girl. In a way as violated as he felt about his wife.
I agree. It was extreme. But I can't say they didn't deserve it.
No, I told him the same thing. I told him this world was a much better place without him in it, but you know what he said? Maybe. But what about the others?
Others? What others?
Yeah, the bounties he killed. You see, most of them were only wanted for robbery or horse theft. Only a handful had ever killed anybody, and the only rapists were the bandits in the mine, and he killed them all.
Not all of them. I heard him tell Micah that he brought in 2 alive.
Those were his last 2, and those happened after Blackwood. What the mine made him realize is that his pursuit of vengeance had blinded him to what he was doing. He had chosen to become a killer, and worse still, he liked it.
Leon, like it? He's a man that does what he has to, but I
know it's hard to see sometimes, but Leon has a gentle soul. He told me more than once that Helena said it was his gentleness that she'd fallen in love with. In chasing his revenge, he was losing everything that Helena had fallen in love with. And when he knew that he was on the brink of losing that, well, he knew she'd be lost to him forever.
And he chose to live differently?
He did. Which brings us to your second question. Leon will not kill Kruger as long as he thinks there's a chance he don't have to.
But he must want some retribution for what happened to Micah's folks. I mean, if he had killed...
No. You stop right there. Kruger is responsible for the death of Micah's parents. Now, Leon might blame himself, but that's for him to sort through. As far as any one of us are concerned, he did nothing wrong.
I suppose you're right. But it can't be easy for him, though. Something like that must gnaw at a man.
It does. It does, but for him to give in to that, even for a second, would be for him to lose Helena all over again. Well, I better get on back upstairs. He's bound to be back soon, and I don't want him fussing at me. Zeke, your word.
My word. One last question, though. Leon's gentle soul. Is that what you fell for as well?
Maybe.
Now, where were we?
Let's get one thing clear, Kruger. I will sit here and I will talk to you, but you will leave Sadie alone in return. Do we have a deal?
Isn't that what I've been saying the whole time? Honestly, Leon, I don't know why you don't trust me.
Look, save your bullshit theatrics. Do we have a deal?
We do. Now then, how'd it feel?
Felt good.
Sure it did. Who was it?
It was a bounty that I was chasing. The man robbed a stagecoach just outside of Dodge City. He shot the driver and the man riding shotgun in the process.
How'd it happen?
I really don't see the point in this.
Humor me.
Alright, fine. I tracked him down to his camp. I tried to execute the arrest warrant he drew down on me. Long story short, I'm here, he ain't.
A justified kill. That's what I figured. You see, Leon, I believe that a man's first kill informs him all he needs to know about how he uses that power.
What are you going to do now?
Take me, for example. I didn't have to kill my father. He never laid a hand on me. In fact, he went out of his way to show me special favor.
Then why the hell did you kill him?
Because I wanted to. He may have loved me, but I hated him. He was a man that had no control over his vices. Ultimately, that's what killed him in the end.
And to think, I thought it was his bastard of a son.
Say what you will about me, but at least I'm honest about what I am, which is more than what I can say about you.
What are you going on about?
How else would you view someone who butchers men in a mine, cuts them up, and acts as if nothing happened?
I have no idea what you are talking about.
I know what you've done. After I run off the ranch, I found myself a little town north of the Brazos River. I'm sure you remember it.
Blackwood.
Nice town. Kinda dead now that the mine's dried up, but not a bad place to spend a few days. Nice neighborly folk, more than willing to talk to a newcomer and tell him all sorts of things. A piece of recent history was fresh on everyone's tongue. A story about the mayor's daughter getting kidnapped and the bounty hunter hired to rescue her.
Your gums keep flapping there, Kruger, but you ain't said nothing I recollect.
Oh, you really want to do this? All right, we'll play it your way. Now, folks describe this bounty hunter that seemed very familiar to me. One young lady said he was as broad as the town blacksmith. The fella who ran the livery stable said that his horse was a massive Appaloosa Bay mare. And the sheriff himself remembered that the man's gun carried a distinctive Texas bluebell on the handle. Any of this helping with your recollection? Now, any one of those things I wouldn't have thought twice about, but all three? Tell me, what did you name that horse, by the way?
Clementine.
Oh, nice name. She was a fine horse. I would apologize for stealing her, but I don't think you'd accept it.
What are you going on about?
Impatience doesn't become you, Leon. You need to enjoy the telling of a story. And how it was told to me. Weeks after, when the bounty hunter set out to rescue the daughter, he came back into town. And, she was in a bad way. I suppose being treated that hard for that long could do that to a woman. But he, on the other hand, he was covered head to toe in dry and crusted blood. Too much blood to be his alone. He handed the daughter over to her daddy, explained that he found her in a mine, and he rode off without another word. A few days later, the mayor took his daughter back home to Boston. And some of the townfolk, they went up to the mine out of curiosity. And what they found was something out of a nightmare. I'm sure you know the rest.
What do you want me to do, Kruger? You want me to admit it? Fine. I done it. I butchered them boys. I won't apologize for it because they got what they deserved.
I ain't asking for an apology. For all I know, the world is a better off place without 3 rapists.
Oh, coming from you, that statement means almost nothing.
I've never forced myself on a woman in my life.
Really? Mary would probably disagree with that.
She was my wife. She had certain responsibilities, and I made sure that she never forgot them.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, bud.
Oh, whatever you may think my hypocrisy is, it doesn't hold a candle to yours.
At least I'm aware of my hypocrisy.
Are you? Really, let's think about that for a moment. You are a man of indescribable brutality, who hides behind a lie of being a moral killer. There ain't nothing moral about what you've done. I know, because it's the same as me. Face it, Leon. You don't kill because you have to. You kill because you like it.
Why in the hell are you so interested in this?
Because you fascinate me. A man that demonstrates such brutality one moment, and then mercy, now 3 months after, is something I've never seen. You had me dead to rights that night. I had a bullet in my leg, and all you had to do was pull the trigger one more time. But you didn't. You froze. And because of that, I got away.
Maybe that's because I was trying to live a better life.
Like what? Shoveling horse shit? And teaching a young man, another killer, your code?
Micah ain't no killer.
Not yet. But you know damn well that he has it in him to be one. And you respect him so little that you won't even let him make up his own mind on how he uses that power.
Maybe the real power isn't in killing, but the granting of it. You ever think about that?
Unlikely. People are scared of dying, Leon, not scared of living.
Leon! Leon, come quick!
What? Micah!
I found him staggering outside, so I went to check on
Micah,
him.
what happened? Where are you hit? Talk to me!
It ain't my blood.
What did he say? What did you say? Talk to me!
It ain't my blood.
Micah, what did you do?
I'm sorry, Leon. You tried to tell me, but I didn't want to hear it.
Alright, it's alright now. No need to think about it now.
There ain't nothing to be ashamed of, son.
Shut your goddamn mouth, Kruger! Sadie, get him out of here, please.
No, Sadie, let him stay. Leon and I have something important to tell him.
No, we don't, Sadie. Get him out of here.
I'm surprised you don't want Micah to know the news. It's not every day a boy meets his father.
Damn you, Kruger!
sleeping right now. Annabelle's washed him up and is watching him.
Did he say anything?
I did.
Well,
Need to give him time. He is hurt and is angry, and it's just best not to rush it.
damn it, this is what I was afraid of.
Oh, lighten up, Leon. Honesty can only be good for the boy.
Just shut your goddamn mouth, Kruger. You don't know what's good for him.
He's my son. I'm the one that only knows what's best for him.
Liam, look, there, I mean it. You see this? And you keep your mouth shut or I won't stop him next time.
You ain't gonna kill me, Sadie.
True, but I will damn sure disable you.
I must say, Leon, you never fail to disappoint. My jaw ain't been riding like that in years.
Happy to oblige. Now quit your jawing.
Oh, but we have so much more to talk about.
No, we don't. The only words I want to hear is that you're headed out of town and leaving Micah alone.
Oh, I am headed out of town, all right. Whether Micah is with me or not is entirely up to you.
What the hell are you talking about?
Why don't you send the whore and the barkeep away, and we'll figure it out.
If you think I'm leaving him with a piece of shit like you,
No, it's
you're a
okay,
son. Don't you
Sadie.
dare send me away like some lily-livered schoolgirl. I can take care of myself.
Sadie, you are a lot of things. But Lily Livered ain't one of them. And you I'm afraid of. All right? I know you can take care of yourself.
Well, I don't understand.
Look, what's gonna happen between me and Kruger here ain't gonna be stopped by you, ain't gonna be stopped by Zeke here. If things go poorly, I need you to be ready to take care of Micah and your girls, because I doubt that son of a bitch will discriminate when he comes. Zeke, is Vera still here?
She is.
All right, load her up and give her to Sadie. Now, if anyone is knocking at your door other than me, you put both goddamn barrels into them. You understand me?
Fine. But you better come knocking. And you better see that all this mess is over with.
I will, all right?
And one last thing, barkeep. Put an iron on the bar top. I have a feeling we're gonna be needing it.
Try not to make a mess.
All right, Kirby. The way I see it, we've got three options here. Number one, I give you that money. And you head your ass out of town with the promise of never coming back to see Micah again. Number two, we continue our conversation. Hell, maybe you can convince me to let Micah go. Maybe I can convince you to just walk away.
And the third,
You know what the third is.
you really think you have enough money to buy me off?
No? But you can't blame me for trying.
No. To be honest, I would have lost a lot of respect for you if you hadn't. So I guess that leaves us two choices.
It does.
And since I have a feeling we're gonna end up with the third, maybe we could give the second option a try.
Maybe. How do you want to start?
Well, I believe we were talking about the power of killing and what Micah's relationship to it should be.
I suppose that is the crux of the matter, isn't it?
I can't abide the fact to leave him with someone who doesn't appreciate the nature of that power, of someone who sits in judgment of me, while his hands are so covered with blood, he will never scrub them clean.
I appreciate the power inherent in killing, which is why I'm trying to teach Micah the importance of discretion.
Discretion? Don't bullshit me, Leon. It wasn't discretion that helped guide you and butcher those boys in the mine and carve them up. Discretion didn't stop your hand from taking their manhood from them. It wasn't discretion that stopped you from drawing and quartering that boy. Don't tell me that discretion entered your thoughts at all.
You're right. That night, discretion was the furthest thing from my mind.
Having the ability to decide whether or not a man lives or dies is the ultimate power that very few people get a chance to wield it. You can only look at me and see that it's true. That one act of killing my father made it possible for me to amount more money and power than he could ever dream of. But most importantly, the fear of others. You, on the other hand, never let yourself fully realize what you could be. It's clear from the stench of you that you exercised the power many, many times. But since your first kill was justified, it put in your head that all your kills must be justified. You are controlled by a self-enforced code of honor.
Is that right?
Oh, no need to be embarrassed. There are a lot of killers out there that are just like you, deluded into thinking that just because they follow a code, it makes them honorable. But no son of mine is going to be hobbled down like that. See, Micah deserves to know the true nature of the power of killing, and that there is no one that can ever stop him.
Micah ain't no killer.
Not yet. So, where do we go from here?
Well, you know, let me have you understand something real quick. You don't know the first thing about that power, Kruger.
Please feel free to prove me wrong.
I will. First things first. I'd rather have folks respect than their fear. Being free to kill someone doesn't make you powerful. That's how a child sees it. It's mundane and ordinary, and it comes for everyone eventually, Kruger. I mean, hell, the man that runs the general store, he may get bit by a copperhead, or his wife may get thrown from her horse. Hell, Annabelle may come down with scarlet fever. She may live to be an old woman who's dying peacefully in her sleep. The point is, Kruger, we may be the reason someone dies, but that don't make us anything special. But to be the reason someone doesn't, whether it be by kindness or act of mercy, nah. The real power lies not in the taking of life, Kruger, but in the preserving of it.
And you call me a child.
You said before, if folks ain't scared of living, that's because you ain't ever done any of it. Your whole life has been in pursuit of revenge.
Revenge against what?
I don't know. Maybe your folks' death affected you more than you want to admit. Hell, maybe you're angry that you're even alive. But the point is, you have never thought about how things could be different. I know because I used to be just like you.
Used to be? Hell, you still are.
All right, in some ways, but not in the ways you think. Do you remember what happened at the ranch that night?
I remember that whore of a wife being surprised when I showed up at the ranch. I remember her screaming her head off as I chased her. Oh, and I remember that damn cowhand tackling me and the look on his face when I filled his belly with lead. And I remember the look on her face as I shot her in the head.
I noticed you forgot one small little detail, though.
What, you shooting me? Nah, I ain't ever gonna forget that.
No, then. You forgot about Micah.
What?
Mary was holding him in her arms when Charles and I got to the farm. You had your gun drawn on her. You would have had to kill Micah in order to kill her. Charles rushed you and you shot him. Mary told Micah to run over to me, and she went to check on Charles, and you shot her in the head. You never even noticed. You weren't there to bring them back. You were there for revenge. You didn't give a damn about him then. You don't give a shit about him now.
That don't prove nothing.
You didn't have to look down at that little boy looking at the bodies of his ma and pa.
I'm not his pa!
The hell you are. You may be his natural father, but you're about as much his father as his damn table is. Hell, Zeke is more of a father to that boy than you'll ever be. You weren't there that night to hold him in your arms while he's crying his eyes out, telling him everything is going to be okay, when you have no idea how that could possibly be.
I remember that.
Micah, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm sorry, Leon. One of the girls needed me and I had to go to her.
I'm sorry, too. I had to run to the outhouse.
It's okay, both of you. Micah, how much of that did you hear?
No. Is it true? What he said?
Which part?
About when you killed my folks. Was she holding me?
Hell, son, that was 14 years ago. I can't be expected to remember a thing like that.
Leon remembered it.
Assuming he was telling you the truth. He'd say anything to turn you against me. Hell, he's been lying to you for the past 14 years. And having you think that sissy boy your ma shacked up with was your pa instead.
Except he didn't know that I was listening. Neither of you did. Yeah. Leon lied to me about that night. He lied to me about my pa, and I'll have words with him about it. But that don't change what you done. What you took from me.
Well,
Why are you really here?
I come to get you, to bring you home.
Why now? If you wanted me so badly, why did it take you this long?
A bank robbery a few months after went sideways. Marshals were relentless in hunting us down, and the leader could not be bought off. So I had to flee to Mexico, and I had to stay there until the marshal was killed in the shootout.
All right. So where have you been since then?
I didn't know where to find you.
Didn't know where to find me. Hell, we ain't been too hard to find. It ain't like me and Leon have been moving around all too much. Surely, you thought to check the last place you knew we was.
Well, sure. But I just couldn't come right back into town. Not with him still around. There was no way he was going to just let me take you.
You needed a crew. Then you had to figure out when you could best ambush us. Let me ask you something. Them bandits, were they ever gonna kill us?
You are a smart one. You see, Leon? I told you he was my son. They weren't gonna kill you, son. They had strict orders to take you to camp unharmed. I was hoping to have this conversation with him there so you could see how deep his hypocrisy ran. Ultimately, I was hoping that you'd be the one to kill him.
You know, you should have listened to me. So what was the next step? Let's say I killed the only father figure that I've ever known. Did you really just expect me to let the man who killed my folks slide?
Perhaps, but not without hearing my side of the story first. To let you know why your ma and that bastard she shacked up with had to die. My sole purpose in all of this was to help you achieve your greatest potential. It didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but you got there. And now you know just how powerful you can be. I knew that I had to get you away from the weakness of Leon.
What weakness?
His damn moral code. You must have noticed it. He doesn't have any problem with killing, but he'll only do it if he thinks it's justified. It irked me that he'd hobble you the same way. I knew I had to get you away from him so that you wouldn't end up as weak as he is.
You know, I guess we'll never know if that would have worked. Your bandits holding us up changed things in a way that I never would have expected. Got me and Leon talking, and because of that, I can see that this was never about me. It was about getting back at him.
Yeah, you just don't understand, son. Sure, I'm no saint, but your buddy over there has done far worse. If you'll let me explain, I'm sure you'll understand.
You're talking about Blackwood? Leon already told me all about it. And because of that, and because of what you did tonight, because of what you forced me to do, I understand exactly what he was trying to teach me.
And I am sorry that you had to learn it that way.
I know. But yesterday's gone and we can't get it back. It's funny though.
What is?
If you hadn't done what you did, I might have turned out exactly like you wanted. I surely wanted nothing more than to find you and kill you someday. Might have even done it. But now, well, I wouldn't waste the bullet.
Now then, get yourself out of this saloon. Don't you?
There, Sadie! Don't move!
Or else I'll blow her pretty little head off. Drop that scattergun, barkeep! Slowly.
Kruger, you don't have to do this. You can walk right out those doors right now and live whatever's left of your pathetic life.
Shut up! You poisoned my son against me. It's only fair I take your fucking whore as compensation.
Leon,
It's gonna be all right,
you're
Sadie.
ready.
Yeah, yeah!
Ah! Ah!
You're right. I am a killer, and I do enjoy it, which is why I live by my moral code, as you so call it. Not to protect me from you, but to protect you from me. See you in hell.
Leon, you okay?
Yeah. I'm all right. Come on, boy. We have got a lot of things